If you're a copywriter and you haven't landed your first client, watch this video. I'm about to share with you guys 3 things that will literally make it impossible for you guys to not land your first client, okay? Watch this video. If you watch the whole thing, I promise you, you will at least go to the grave with a client in your pocket. Watch this entire video. You won't regret it. Okay, so you guys really seem to like the last video, and I got a lot of comments and DMs on my Instagram asking, Jason, how do I land my first client? How did you land your first client? What do I need to do to land my first client? So that's why I'm making this video. I want to help you guys out because I remember exactly when I was in your position a month ago, 2 months ago, forget how long it was, but I want to help you guys out. So let's just get right into it. No fluff, no BS. So landing your first client comes down to literally one thing, okay? If you do this one thing or don't do this one thing, if you do this one thing, you will land a client, 100% guaranteed, okay? So I'm gonna make it brain dead simple for you guys to follow. And that thing, as cliche as it sounds, is not quitting. If you don't quit, I promise you, you are going to land a client. And the funny part about it is if you have this mentality that you're never gonna quit, you're gonna land the first client a lot faster than you even think is possible, okay? And so in this video, I'm sharing with you 3 ways that will make it physically impossible for you to quit. If you adopt these mindsets, you will never quit, and therefore you will land your first client probably a lot sooner than you even think is possible. So let's just get right into it. The first thing, and these, by the way, these are all things I struggle with and I've struggled with in the past. I'm not perfect. I'm just like you guys, and I'm battling these things every day and trying to get better at these. So yeah, let's just get right into it. The first one, okay, I think the first thing that makes most people quit is unrealistic expectations, okay? And I'm gonna give you a great mindset hack to beat this. So let's just talk about unrealistic expectations. This is literally why 99% of beginners never, ever, ever land their first client. It's because they expect it to happen way too soon. And I struggle with this too, even though I got kind of lucky and I did land my first client pretty soon. They expect results super fast. And basically what I've learned about how humans basically work is we're goal-oriented people. And I'm sure you guys can relate to this. Everybody has goals, right? And the best feeling in the world is hitting your goals and accomplishing your goals. And therefore, by default, the worst feeling in the world is when you don't hit your goals, when you don't accomplish your goals, when you don't live up to what you set out to do, right? So what I'm trying to get at with this is if you have unrealistic expectations, and this happens subconsciously, by the way, I don't even try to set these unrealistic expectations for myself, but subconsciously, you just expect it to happen. And so when you do this, and let's say you guys expect to land your first client after doing 25 outreaches, right? When that doesn't happen, that brings such a wave of hopelessness, depression. It makes it very unmotivating to continue to do work. And so the mindset that I want you guys to adopt to beat this, that helped me, is think in the long term, okay? What I mean by that is take every goal you have and figure out consciously, subconsciously, I don't know if you guys have written out your goals with the time you want to hit it in. Figure out what your goals are and the time that you think is fair to accomplish that goal. Then I want you guys to make that time horizon way bigger. So I'll give you guys an example. My current goal right now is to hit 5K a month with copywriting, right? And while, it would be cool and it'd be great if that were to happen for me in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 months, whatever, right? It'd be great if it happened fast. I'm not expecting it to. I would be so fully happy with where my life is at if in a year from now, I hit 5K a month, right? In a year from now, I'd be a 21-year-old young kid, most of my friends still in college. I'd have started a business that's doing 5K a month. I would be absolutely blessed to be in that position. And so I don't expect it to happen right away. And I think about it in the long term. I think how happy I would be, even if it happened a year, 2 years from now, I'd be happy with it. And that's what motivates me to keep going and to keep accomplishing my goals, because they all end up, when I adopt this mindset, they all end up happening way sooner. Okay, so that's the first one. The second thing I want you guys to do is become so obsessed with the process and not the outcome. ditch the outcome. So I just talked about goals, which is great. It's great to have goals and subconscious goals and maybe write down goals, but don't think about the goals all the time when you're doing the work. Just focus on becoming good at the work and becoming obsessed with the process and all the little nuances and details of the process and becoming better as a copywriter and, as an entrepreneur yourself, right? And so I'll give you an example to illustrate this. And you guys have heard this before because this is fucking extremely cliche. But if two people are running a marathon, right, and the winner gets $1 million, who's going to win? The guy that likes running, just loves to run, and that's all he does, and he takes so much pride in it, or the guy that loves money, okay, and is only in it to get that $1 million? I guarantee you 100 times out of 100 times, the guy that likes running always wins. And the beauty of the situation when you become obsessed with the process and not the outcome is it ends up like making your goals happen faster. Like you ditch the outcome, and ironically, the outcome comes to you way quicker. And so another thing I want you guys to think about is, this is kind of a sidetrack, but this is also where you guys are at and where I'm at too. This is the most fun part of the journey, okay? Every entrepreneur, when they make it, whatever making it is to you, maybe it's 10K a month, 5K a month, $1 million a month, whatever. Every entrepreneur, when they make it, looks back at where we are right now, 5K a month, 2K a month, 0K a month if you don't have a client. And they take so much pride in it, right? Because this is the best part, is when you're starting and you're super ambitious and you're just focused on your goals. And these are the best feelings in the world. I can tell you wholeheartedly, I've landed my first client. I have 3 clients now. I've made money. I've gotten multiple payments from multiple different clients. And no, there's still yet to be a better feeling than landing my first client. It literally does not get better than that, okay? So I want you guys to take a lot of pride in where you're at and don't get discouraged, right? Even if you don't reach your goal as fast as you think you should, this is the best part of the journey. I want you guys to focus on that. Last thing. I want you guys to think about also, while this is the best part, the beginning of the journey, landing your first client, is literally the hardest part of the journey. It does not get harder than this, okay? Which should be extremely motivating, because it's like, if you do this, if you accomplish this, if you land your first client, even if it takes you a year, right? Which I promise you it won't. If you adopt these mindsets, it'll happen so fast. But the beauty of it, when you realize that the beginning is the hardest part, is it's like subconsciously you then don't expect it to happen right away. So you ditch the unrealistic expectations and you start thinking in the long term, and then it ultimately ends up happening. Like, I want to give you guys hope that this is the hardest part, but it can happen also really quick, right? You shouldn't expect it, but I got my first client on my second outreach ever, okay? And when you realize that's the hardest part, that's the most motivating thing in the world, because it's like, if I accomplish that, I can literally do anything. And I know that. And I know exactly, that gives me so much confidence. I know exactly where I'm going to go in life. I know exactly, the type of lifestyle I'm going to live, and a big portion of that mindset and that confidence is just thugging it out and putting my head down and just accomplishing that first part of it, which was landing my first client. Okay. So yeah, I hope these 3 things really helped you guys. I know this isn't probably what you expect. This isn't some random cold outreach script or some, guru outreach method to get you guys clients. But I think these are way more important. If you really take away from this video these 3 things and you adopt these mindsets, you're gonna land your first client. It's literally guaranteed. And when that happens, hit me up on Instagram or drop a comment and tell me you did it, because that's the goal. I just want to help you guys out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.